Hello, and welcome to another SafeFire video. My name is Eduardo Cabrera, Applications Engineer at SafeFire Incorporated. Today, I will introduce you to Rodin, EasyFlame's dedicated software. Our previous video focused specifically on EasyFlame's hardware and how it functions as a unit. Today, we will focus on its software and how it monitors and manages flame detection. First, let's identify Rodin's desktop icon. This is how Rodin looks when installed properly on your PC. Before entering Rodin, we must make sure it is running as an administrator. So we would right-click, enter Properties, enter Compatibility, and make sure this program is running as an administrator. If it is, we can proceed. To enter Rodin, we must double-click it. The first screen you will see when entering Rodin is the System Overview screen. If a system was created beforehand, you will be able to view it. But if it's your first time entering Rodin, you will get an empty screen. To be able to fully operate Rodin, we must log in, which is located on the top left-hand side. After clicking Login, there will be a prompt for a username and password. There are primarily two login profiles for Rodin: a guest and administrator. A guest will only have access to 3 icons, which is the screen we originally saw. As an administrator, the user will have access to 5 icons, giving them full control of EasyFlame. So let's enter as an administrator. The password for administrator can be found in the Rodin user manual. Once logged in, you will notice 2 additional icons have appeared. And in Rodin, each icon represents a different screen. Let's begin with the Setup icon. To be able to set up Rodin, a few items are required in addition to your PC. You will need a RS-485 USB connector, a DB9 to PCB connector, a 24-volt DC power supply, an EasyFlame base, and an EasyFlame amplifier. The RS-485 and DB9 connector plug together to establish a communication path between the PC and the base. The USB connection goes into your PC and the PCB connector to the right side of the base. The amplifier must be mounted on the base and powered on by the power supply. Once this is done, you can proceed to setup. To set up Rodin, we must first click the Setup icon. Then, we click the Detect Ports button, click the I/O port drop-down list, select the correct COM, and click Connect. You will notice the word Disconnected in red has changed to Connected in green. This step recognizes that a path of communication has been established and only needs to be done once. In most cases, you will only have one COM to choose, making things easier. If more than one appears, it is recommended to view your I/O list before connecting the USB to the PC, then insert the USB, click Detect Ports, and select the COM that was not previously there. The next screen we will talk about is the System Configuration screen, which requires the same setup as before. On this screen, you will be able to create your own EasyFlame detection system. Let's begin by clicking the System Config icon. The Edit Layout box on the right-hand side provides all the tools necessary to create an EasyFlame system. For example, to create a new row, just click Add Row. You can have up to 22 rows in a system. To add a new item, also known as an EasyFlame unit, click Add Item. You can have up to 6 items per row. If you require to delete a row or item, just click either Remove Row or Remove Item after clicking the item you wish to remove, or row. For example, we wish to remove item number 1. We must first click item number 1 and then click Remove Item. Once the system has been finalized, click Auto Assign and click Yes on the following window. By activating Auto Assign, the amplifiers will be displayed in numerical order, keeping everything organized. We must then click Save Configurations to save our system, and then click OK. But one more step is required to enable communication between Rodin and the amplifiers. In order to establish communication, we must link every amplifier to its respective item. Linking is achieved by clicking an item or easy flame unit on your system and then press and hold the 1A and 1B or 2A and 2B push buttons on the front of the respective amplifier, while simultaneously clicking Write Address, located on the amp configuration box. Once notified of success, click OK. The amplifier is now linked. The amp ID has been recorded on Rodin and is ready for parameter entry, making this one of the most important steps when using Rodin and only requires to be done once. An important thing to note is that on the amp configuration box, you will notice a letter and a number. This is what we refer to as a burner ID and is generated by using the letter of the row the item is in and its location in the row. For example, we only have one item in our system, but it is in row A and position 1. Therefore, its burner ID would be A1. The System Overview screen is a quick and efficient way of viewing the entire flame status of your system. It also allows us to access another important screen, the burner status screen. The burner status screen is the most important screen in Rodin. It not only displays valuable scanner information, but also controls parameter modification. To view the screen, you must go to the System Overview screen and click the item you are interested in. This will automatically take you to the item or unit's burner status screen. You can verify this by looking at the number in the red circle of the display pane. It will match your amplifier's ID number. On the burner status screen, you will be able to view the scanner's real-time detection values and scanner information. It will also display flame quality and flame intensity in the form of a scale for threshold comparison. But the most important function of this screen is in the User Settings tab. The User Settings tab is where all of your parameter modifications occur, and before any modification can be made, you must have the previous setup, plus a scanner and 420 milliamp meter must be wired into the base. The scanner must also be in the line of sight of a light source. In today's video, I will use SafeFire Scanner Tester, since it can produce an IR or UV light at different frequencies and intensities. Before we begin, please note that the flame status of the scanner is now off and the fault is 00. This occurred because the scanner and the meter are properly wired into the base. Now, let's begin by clicking the User Settings tab. The User Settings tab breaks down into 4 sections. The first section is the channel selection, in which you can choose between channel 1 or 2 to modify. The second section is the scanner options. You can select the type of scanner that will be connected to this channel, choose to disable or enable it, and select the file it will operate on. The third section is selecting a file you would like to modify, and the final section is the actual parameter list. The last section is where the user can modify sensitivity, parameter range, and other detection functions. But before we go into how to modify the parameters, we must understand how the Easy Flame system determines if a flame is on or off, as well as the definition of each parameter. The Easy Flame system utilizes 3 detection principles to determine if a flame is present or not, and those are amplitude, flame flicker frequency, and intensity. Using a simulated flame, it is easy to see that flame flicker frequency, also known as FREQ in our software, is the rise and drop of a flame over time. The amplitude, also known as AC, is the peak strength of the flame. And lastly, intensity, known as DC, is the overall brightness of the flame. Now that we have a solid understanding of the detection principles, let's move on to the parameter definitions. The first parameter we must understand is gain. Its best description is the amplification of a flame signal to vary sensitivity, applying to the AC and DC principle. FC is the most common frequency seen at the targeted flame. Max is the maximum desired value of AC, affecting only your flame quality, or your 4 to 20 milliamp meter. Min is the minimum desired value of AC, affecting only flame quality, or your 4 to 20 milliamp meter. On_TH, also known as your on threshold, is the highest desired value before signaling flame off, which applies to your 3 detection principles. Off_TH, also known as off threshold, is the lowest desired value before signaling flame on, and applies to your 3 detection principles. OTD, in other words known as on time delay, is the amount of time the AC value has to stay in between the on and off threshold for a flame on status, and you can choose between 1 to 6 seconds. FFRT, also known as flame failure response time, is the amount of time the AC value goes out of its flame on range to determine flame off status. Your options are also 1 to 6 seconds. This part of the video will go over how to enter parameter modifications in Rodin. Since I have wired my scanner to channel 2, I will only be able to modify channel 2 parameters. I must first select the channel I wish to modify, which in this case is channel 2. Then the file I wish to make the change in, file A. Then I must select the parameter box I wish to change. In this case, it will be FC. I will enter the new value, click Write, and then click Yes. After a few moments, the amplifier will apply the changes. Modifying multiple lines is as simple as modifying a single line. For example, I wish to change channel 2's operating file. I would like to increase its AC gain and match the previous FC value. To do that, I must first select the operating file I wish to use. In this case, it will be file B, which will take me automatically to its parameter list. Then I would go to the AC gain parameter box, click it, and enter the new value. I will do the same for FC. Then I will click Write and click Yes. But there is one more screen we must quickly go over, the alarm screen. The alarm screen is accessed by clicking the alarm icon. In this screen, you will be able to view all of the alarms that have activated since Rodin has been linked with the amplifiers. Each alarm will have a timestamp, amp ID, and description. It can also sort the alarms by amplifiers by clicking the amp ID drop-down box and selecting the amp ID of interest. In addition, you can also save your alarm list by clicking Save to File, saving the alarm list as a CSV file. Rodin is a powerful software. It has many functions and features, but most importantly, it's user-friendly.
making the Easy Flame a truly advanced and easy to use flame detection system. We at SafeFire would like to thank you for viewing our video and hope you found it useful. If you have any questions or would like additional information, you can contact us through our website at safe-fire.com.